Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to DBS this morning. And we always have to be outside because there's just something amazing. First of all, we have a lovely island, so I feel like I need to take advantage of this. And secondly, when I have special guests like Mr. Alwyn sent Omer, I cannot be the same or be normal because I'm with another creative mind. So, first of all, welcome to this morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Sheila. Always glad to be on your program.
Well, you know what? To me, that means a lot. So I'm very happy that you look forward to being here. But today, I really want to help enlighten St. Lucia because, when I think of your work, especially culturally, it is very important. Artwork, paintings, all these things are ways of documenting our history. Now you have a very special series as well, the Moon Dancers series, which I absolutely love, which is a reflection of our masquerade tradition. So I think it's only fitting that we start things off talking about your Moon Dancers series and really how it came to life, the evolution of that.
The Moon Dancer series started as I grew up in Central Castries, first of all. And in those days, I mean, that's quite a few years ago. It was always, Christmas is always theater. And also, I grew up in an artistic household where, I mean, as a kid, you would, at least at night, you would leave home and go to the town hall, climb up the little slats on the side and watch the art skill plays inside. So Castries is always full of theatre, and it was a different time. The masquerade I find very intriguing because as a child, sometimes it made Christmas so exciting. There was something in the air. It was something. There's a an atmosphere of culture, you know, and the masquerade would come to different homes in under the CDC or all over Castries. They would come to the homes of the rich and the poor, the toes, the pai banan, and they would play for money. But over the years, the masquerade has disappeared, and now we have performances by different groups, which is fine, you know. But I've always wondered what happened to the masquerade. And as I grew up, and I started to see, well, why don't I do a series? Why don't I try to paint them? Uh, Originally, looking for work pictures of the masquerade, they were very difficult to find. They're non-existent. For whatever reason, people hardly recorded them. So I accidentally, once McDonald Dixon lent me some of Sparks and Helen's pictures, and I stumbled onto a picture of Tours by the Market, and I started from there. But what happened with the masquerade is, in its pure form, it's not palatable to buyers. One day, while experimenting with paints, I the moon dancer materialized. It was a masquerade in abstract form, and it was very beautiful. And from there, the art just blossomed. But the moon dancer is really based on, as I found out over the years, it was a way, it dated back to slavery, and it's actually something from our African past, where our ancestors, because the slave masters thought a happy slave was a good slave, our ancestors would revert to the traditions of Africa, the mass traditions of birth, death, wedding. It was then dislocated because they would just put on the mask, not identifying it to any of these original traditions. They would put on the mask as an umbilical link to Africa, um, from the country that they were so brutally torn from. It's a way of soothing a secret revolution from the slave masters who thought a happy slave was just a good slave. Over the years, the masquerade has developed into our carnivals and our Christmas traditions. But about 45 years ago, it disappeared in St. Lucia for no apparent reason.
These are our distinctions. It molds us as a people. And when persons like you do work like this to preserve in some way or form, it's very important, that we have that. So thank you for your efforts as well in doing that. But I know you also want to not only educate us here in St. Lucia, but bring it to the world because you're working on a special expo coming up, right?
Yes, I believe it's important that we take it to the world because it's a world stage now with all these telecommunications and whatnot, the social media. We have to take it to the world. And this year I want to do a Europe exhibition of 30 paintings, an explosive exposure of St. Lucian art and culture. You know, it's something of us that we have to, each of us have to fight to preserve. And that is the excitement you see when you see the masquerade. It's something from your psyche that, there's an excitement that, that is just part of us. And we have to bring it to the world, let the world see that we're not just a Caribbean people of sea and sand, but we have a beautiful culture as well.
And with all of this said, I just want to add to that that these are the avenues, these creative avenues that can blossom so many beautiful things. So, Mr. Centromo, I want to thank you very much for being here, enlightening us as well on the evolution of the moon dancers. And I look forward to hearing more news about this expo. We're going to make sure we take St. Lucia on the map. And it is 2020. So if you have a dream, if you're into the arts, whether it's poetry, writing, dancing, whatever form, because the arts is a broad statement, do not give up. Keep on persevering. And of course, let's hope the powers that be who are watching right now recognize that that additional support is always needed. But this is a two-part series, so we are going to further dive into the moon dancers with Mr. St. Omer. So keep watching DBS this morning because sometime next week we're going to follow up with part two. That's going to be very interesting as we really get in depth with some of the paintings. So thank you so much again for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Cheers. Thank you very much.